You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacqueline.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome back. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You. Lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. I'm your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Our show is not an interview show. It is a presentation platform. I have hand-selected the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors from around the world. They come on our show. We now have 6 shows a week, and they present a 15-minute lesson to help make us better personally and professionally. Who are my experts today, you're asking? Well, it is the Doctor Who of business, Ben Chai, joining us from London. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. And we also have joining us from the great state of Maryland in the United States, Mildred Muhammad. Hello, Mildred.
Hi. How you doing? Nice to be here.
Wow,
And it's
Mildred,
nice to have you guys
beautiful,
back again.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are
I'm loving it. Yeah, you're here together again. And you got your purple glasses
really well together. Last time it was abundance, followed by Mildred's protection and helping people build internal abundance. And today, I'll be talking about how to protect yourself from being scammed because of all that trauma that's created. And Mildred's going to be talking about
healing trauma.
and
we did not discuss this before the show.
Well, 2 very important topics. I'm going to let our audience know that the way this works is Doctor Who of business has graciously offered to go first, and he is going to present his lesson. Mildred and I will be listening intently and taking notes, and then we'll share our feedback with Doctor Who afterwards. We'll take a quick break, and then Mildred will be presenting, and Doctor Who and I will be listening intently, and then providing Mildred with some feedback. Before we do that, I want to spotlight each of you. Tell the world what you're doing because you both are so accomplished and have helped so many people. Please do not be shy. Let's start with you, Doctor Who.
Hi, so yes, I'm the Doctor Who of business and I run various businesses around the world. Today, the businesses I focus on are property and education. I'm also acting in the acting world and helping the producers and people who create films learn about funding of their films and how to engage with the corporate world as well as being an actor. So that's a little bit about myself, and I will share a little bit more in my presentation. So, whoa!
You forgot to mention that you are a co-host on an amazing show. Do tell about the Underdog Show.
Sure. So the Underdog Show is a show that I co-host with the lovely, beautiful, and incredibly intelligent Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. She and I, there's laughter somewhere, I'm not sure it is. She and I have deliberately created this show so that we can highlight real people with real stories where they have been stomped down, pushed down by society, the world, through no fault of their own. So far, we've had some great guests. We've had someone who was a multimillionaire and was bankrupt by his father, so that he was penniless, and he shared his recovery from that and the depression he went through. We've had somebody who didn't know who her parents were. She was an orphan. The parents didn't want her, who went on to become an Amazon warrior queen. And this is no lie. These are absolutely true stories, and we share her story and how she recovered from that. And recently, this Wednesday, we had the incredible story of a wonderful, wonderful woman who unfortunately was violently raped at the age of 13. And she shares her journey, her decades of journey, and the issues that it caused because of that rape in her life, and how she managed to come out of that to really becoming a valuable person in society today who's helping so many people. So please, if you ever get a chance to view our shows or even share them with the people around you, because they will benefit from the lessons that many of these people have learned as a result of those horrible things that happened to them.
Thank you, Dr. Who. That was a great summation. And Mildred has a little insight that I share with her that I didn't get to share with you yet. But as a result of the interview yesterday, some collaboration is going to take place. And also Mildred and I are going to have a collaboration. So for right now, Mildred, you have been helping people for so long, and you bring a completely different perspective than anybody else to the work that you do. So I'm going to spotlight you again. Please do not be shy. Mildred has coached me. She's amazing. So let's hear all about you, Mildred.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacqueline. I am Mildred Muhammad. I'm an award-winning global keynote speaker on the issues of domestic violence, domestic abuse, suicide, PTSD, as well as a certified professional and personal developmental life coach. That's a lot to say. I began this work because I was a victim who became a survivor, and I'm a warrior on those issues of domestic violence. My ex-husband was John Allen Muhammad, whom you know to be the DC sniper. He was executed in 2009. I continue to help so many people come out of and recover from abusive relationships, as well as traumas that they feel in their lives that they don't feel they can overcome. As long as you can get to the root of your trauma, the root of your pain, you can dig it up, then you are able to live a happy and safe journey. So don't ever think and don't ever allow anyone to make you feel that the pain that you have will always be with you. It will, if that's what you want it to be. It's always your choice to journey through that pain to get to a better version of yourself. So I'm really happy to talk to you about healing the trauma that you are experiencing and finding a way to carve through all of that to be happy no matter what.
Thank you, Mildred. That was beautiful. I feel this calling just to let the audience know that it's amazing. It just occurred to me this minute. Ben was over on Clubhouse in a room, and Mildred, I saw you on LinkedIn. In both cases, I was intimidated to reach out to either one of you. And had I not done that, this, all these other things would not have happened. So what I share with our audience is get out of your own way, make some connections. There are tons of people out there who are authentic, like these two people. They're beautiful human beings, and a big part of who they are is helping other people.
Absolutely.
All right. Dr. Who, are you ready to present?
I am ready.
He's ready. All right, Mildred, you and I are going to go backstage, and I'm going to share your deck. And I'm going to put the timer up. Give me 1 minute to remove ourselves, and I'll put it up. Here we go.
Brilliant. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Chai. I am known as the Doctor Who of business, and I have worked in the arena of business in many different capacities, from being a managing director, a CEO, a financial director, a technical director, and an operations director. Having worked in business for such a long time, I've been very privy to see a number of ways that people have been scammed and lost literally tons of money, thousands, hundreds of thousands of money. So I will be sharing today various things on how to protect yourself and how to actually even see a scam artist coming your way to help reduce the amount of trauma that you may go through from losing a fortune, or whatever amount is that is a fortune to you, which will impact your life. And you will go through, if it's a close person who has really ripped you off, then you will need to go through a lot of healing in terms of forgiveness and also recovering finance, which you may not have been able to lose. So here's a tiny little bit about myself and some of the businesses that I've run. And from that, let's move on to what we'll be talking in this course. So first of all, I'll be sharing about scams and how people get scammed. Now, in order to be scammed, you actually need to be desperate about something. And most people are desperate for money. So if they hear of a quick way to make money, normally you have become an easy target. I'm also working in the media industry today, where many people want to become models and actors. And again, these people get scammed very easily with agencies approaching them saying, hey, listen, I can get you on this film set, or hey, come here and do some modeling and I'll give you some social media proof and so on. So when you have that desperation, when you suffer from FOMO, fear of missing out, you become an easy target. There are ways to protect yourself or make sure that if something does sound too good to be true, it may or may not be too good to be true, but here's some ways that you can do due diligence. So the next aspect I'll be sharing is how to do due diligence in social media. If someone approaches you with an offer, instantly go on Google or any kind of search engine and look for that person, look for their name, look for the reviews on that person, look for, if you feel that they could be scamming you potentially, look for certain phrases on the internet, such as court cases and that person's name. Now, there are ways to bury bad reviews in social media. Here are some of the ways, and if you see these happening, you will know that that person is engaging in scam type tactics. For example, if there is a bad review on a website of that person or that company, you will also see tons and tons of good reports about that person, sometimes repeated. So you can see it's like somebody's deliberately copied and pasted a good report about that person. That is one way they've buried bad reports. Another way is to create websites such as XYZ. So for example, there was a company called XYZ that was involved in scamming. They might create a website called XYZ Scam, so that if you put in the internet search bar XYZ and scam, the websites that will come up will be theirs. And they will then say how wonderful that person is and how other people say terrible things about famous people. This is very often not the case. So that's a few things you can do in social media. Also, and by the way, internet. So I'm sharing both internet and social media due diligence at the moment. Another component of due diligence using social media is to see if they've got Facebook accounts and see if what they're saying marries in their Facebook or their Instagram or LinkedIn, marries with what they're saying. So, for example, if you are approached by someone who says, look, I can get you 50,000 Instagram followers. Well, go on to their Instagram. And if they don't have 50,000 Instagram followers, it's very unlikely that they can help you get there. And Microsoft, where I used to be someone who trained trainers at Microsoft and who've written many materials for them, plus been one of their first engineers, they have a phrase, and it's called eat your own dog food. In other words, prove that your products work first before selling and promoting it. So they always use their own products. In the same way, if somebody is saying that they can do something, check out their social media to see if that's true. There are also abilities to put reviews on people. So again, if you see someone and they've got social media on LinkedIn, see how many reviews they have and recommendations they have in LinkedIn of that person. Now, if they have 5 reviews in their LinkedIn, check out the people who've made the reviews. And if you see that they've also made a similar review back, then perhaps their business isn't that authentic. So those are some kind of really small nuggets that we're looking for. The next the next aspect of due diligence is social connection. This is you and I talking. Now, you may be told by some people that you shouldn't gossip. Well, that might be some of the scam processes to prevent you from talking to people. So do talk to people. Just say, listen, I'm thinking of going and doing business with this person. Can you give me feedback on what happened? Now, it might be that that person is scared to gossip or say any bad things, so they'll say it's fine. So ask them this question. Would you use them again? And how much would you pay to these people? Very, very important sentences for you to use when you're working with those people. The next aspect is to find like 5 or 6 of these people, depending on the size of your order. We do this anyway. So if you were buying a washing machine, you would go out and compare it. You'd ask friends if they've got that model, what happened with it. So why don't we do it with people who purportedly are sharing their businesses to take us to the next level? We should absolutely do the same thing. Go out, compare with other people offering same kind of components and see whether the prices match up. Again, I want to come back to this word FOMO, fear of missing out. Quite often there is from a different kind of sales. So this is not corporate sales, but this is people who sell from the stage. They will give you a specific time slot. Like, hey, the people who sign up within the first minute will get these extra bonuses. And what they're trying to do is create FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, here's some great news for you. They will always make that offer on the next stage and the stage after and after. So just go have a look at what's going on. Have a look at some of the reviews on those people and speak to some of the people who made the review, say, a year or 2 years ago, and see whether they feel the same. Because many times people are asked to write reviews in the heat of the moment. So just have a look at that kind of component. And also get comparisons. So if someone says they're going to take your Instagram to 50,000 followers, find out other people who have similar offerings. And also, again, find out what actually has happened. Now, we've talked about social media due diligence. We've talked about internet. We've talked about social connection. Words and action due diligence. Look at how that company and the people you're thinking of doing business with act towards other people. And I'm not talking about other people like you. I'm talking about other people who they feel are, let's call it, losers. The reality is you are not a loser. Nobody's a loser. And that's such a childish thing to call anybody. But they might say, hey, you're going to be a waiter all your life, or a bricklayer, or whatever. And none of these positions are bad or good. They are just positions that people take in their life. Have a look at how they communicate and how they treat those people. It's very, very important. Because if they're treating them in a demeaning and condescending manner, then probably if you didn't have the money, they might treat you in exactly the same way. And what happens if you took one of those jobs just to get by? Would they treat you in a similar way? So have a look whether their actions and their words marry up. The next thing to do is paperwork due diligence. Now, what is paperwork due diligence? Well, over time, I got better and better. I was actually scammed by a close relative, and it's because they're a relative. Why would I write paperwork? Well, we always write paperwork, and in the paperwork, we say exactly the results that we want. And if we do not get the results, here are the penalties, or here is a money back guarantee. So you write that paperwork if it's large sums of finance, and see if you can actually break down the finance depending on milestones being reached. In the UK, many of my property investor colleagues have been scammed by builders. And the builders have often asked for large sums of money up front. And indeed, we in my team have been scammed by some of these builders. And in those early days, we would pay that money up front for whatever reason given to us by these builders. Today, we do not do this. We only engage with builders who are happy to give us quotations and happy to pay on staged payments depending on what has been achieved. Finally, if your gut says something is wrong, listen to it. It's so important that you listen to your gut feel. If there is FOMO, it's time to walk. Never feel pressurized for whatever reason. You will never miss out on bonuses. And quite honestly, a lot of these bonuses sound great, but people never have the time to use and implement those bonuses in terms of these bonuses that are given away online or on stage or even with other companies. So trust your gut feeling. And if you are told that you only make the decision, you should never listen to your husband and wife because you're an independent person and you should be able to make these decisions on your own as an adult. These are different ways for these people to separate you from loved ones who could make you and help you make educated decision. So it doesn't mean that your loved one is right or wrong, but at least you've had that discussion and had everything out in the open. Okay, so in summary, in this course, I've just shared how to protect yourself from being scammed. If you do many of these things, I can't guarantee it 100% because sometimes people would just be your friend for years and years, and then suddenly something will happen. So do look at their actions and their words and how they treat other people. But it will vastly help reduce the amount of times you are scammed. So with that said, if you are interested in any other related series, then please do have a look at them on the Better You platform. Lessons on how to speak like a pro, essential virus social media lessons, and how to get worldwide visibility. Also, we do a whole series on TED Talks and how to get and speak on TED and TEDx events and how to maximize your day and get your new idea and your learnings to be spread worldwide. So this is Ben Chai. Thank you for listening to me. And do watch my TED Talk on social magnetism. If you would like some questions, just as rehearsal for this particular course, then please reach out to me and I will send you those questions.
Wow, that was such a great presentation. I learned so many things there that I didn't know, and I've been scammed a number of times, and I wish I'd had this information before, and it's definitely going to help other people. But there are so many people out there who reel you in different ways, whether it's in person, social media, in the mail, the phone. So some great tips that you provided there that I never even thought of before. How did you feel giving?
I've lost several 100,000 in being scammed, so I can spot them coming these days. That's how much I paid for my lessons.
So I want to have Mildred weigh in, but I want to ask you, having just presented that and sharing that you yourself have been through it, now that you're able to look back to yourself previously, this person who was scammed, right? You gave so many great tips, gut instinct, for example, running it by other people. FOMO is a big one. Hey, you better do it now. Like got to buy this car now. You got to do this. You got to do that. What's the number one thing, the first thing that when you look back, you thought, okay, something doesn't seem right, or the first sign that it might not be right?
Mildred, your microphone.
No, I thought she was talking to you.
Oh, I thought
I
she was
was.
talking to you.
I was talking to you. No, I'm saying you just
doing me?
presented.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes. You just
Sorry.
presented and you shared that you've been
Oh, so
scammed.
what's I think the first thing is if you've got any desperation inside of yourself, then you're making yourself vulnerable. So many of us want to shortcut and make money fast, and the truth is, if it's your first business, it normally takes 7 to 8 years to really make significant amount of money due to the compound effect and the way that works. And then subsequent businesses will get faster and faster. So, for example, the last business I ran, because I've run so many businesses, it probably took me about three years to take it to 7 figures. And if I wanted to, we could have gone faster, but I would have alienated all the team members by doing that. So it wasn't worth the team members losing the team members on that. So I think the first thing is, if you've got any kind of desperation, I really need this. I desperately needed this. I need money fast. All of that stuff. You literally made yourself vulnerable. You just have to follow the process. I'm sorry, guys. There are little shortcuts which I've helped people with in their lives, and they've sent me messages and thanked me, and they wouldn't have got so fast. But most of the stuff, you have to do the work. You have to be transactional before you can be transformational. And there are so many people who will say they are transformational, but the thing is, they cannot help you to be transformational until you understand the transactional aspect.
True.
And I think something to add on to that, I definitely was scammed last year. It's in my book. And the person had a lot of experience in dealing with the public, and the person kind of knew what my weak points were and tapped into that and gave me this feeling like, oh, that I could trust them, that they have my best interests at heart. But I had to do something quickly. It's a limited opportunity. There are other people want this opportunity. They're begging for it. So you have to make a decision. And so, like an idiot, I made the decision, and it was the wrong one. Mildred, any comments that you want to share?
Well, I think Dr. Ben just said that nobody is a loser and nobody are idiots. Didn't you just say that, Dr.?
He did say that.
He's not an idiot. Just happened. Because last year during the pandemic, everybody was trying to do everything to make money because everything was closed. But I really enjoyed your presentation on scams. They have a lot of them on Facebook where they have these quick fix weight loss programs and leggings and all of these other things, that the number one thing people are trying to do is lose weight, or how to make money real fast just to pay your bills. So I thought everything that you said was right on, especially when you trust your gut, because that's the first feeling you get. That sensation is, should I do this? I don't know if I should. Just trust it and say, yeah, no, I can wait. Because look at your own finances first before you give that big chunk of change. Can you really afford to let go of that kind of money in this environment right now? And if the answer is no, then it can wait. So
well, so if the evolved scam people, when you say, I'm not sure I can afford it, they'll say, are you sure you cannot afford to do it? How much extra on your credit card would it cost? Because like when you engage in this, then now here's the interesting aspect. There are some people who can take advantage of courses and max out their credit cards, but these people are rare. They're like a Facebook billionaire. They're like a Amazon billionaire, right? And they have so much passion that they will be working literally 24 hours a day to make it happen. So they can they have so much want and why, and they don't have lots of responsibilities that many other people might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought your presentation was spot on. It was great. Especially in this environment right now. It's just everybody's trying to make money. Everybody's trying to have 1 foot ahead, paying the bills. And with the pandemic, we're still just coming out of that. It's only 6 months, right? So
You're so right, Mildred. It's why I thought to give this presentation, because the whole kind of like world has, because so many people are desperate for money as a result of that pandemic. They've now made themselves susceptible. Not they've made themselves, but they're now susceptible to some of these scams that are now, as you rightly point out, Mildred, are just abundant around the world. You mentioned Facebook, but also even in an app that where Dr. J and I met in Clubhouse, there are a lot of scams going on in there as well. So just around.
They said that corporations are charging 15 to 30% higher for the products that we were buying before 2020. So even they're trying to recoup the monies that they lost in 2020. So everybody's on this "I got to get my money back" program.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something I want to share, because this just happened to me. I get a number of emails that my whatever it is that I signed up for is about to expire. So my Microsoft Outlook email is going to expire. My McAfee is going to expire. My Apple iTunes account is going to expire. And I think, nah, that's not the case, because I'm on a monthly, whatever, subscription model. So I go to the top to where it was sent from, the email address, and I highlight it, and it is not. It's like Joe Jones XYZ at whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, those are called phishing attacks. So I used to work in the cybersecurity world, and it's really weird. Someone who lived in one of my properties, and now I've educated them so much, but they clicked on one of those links. They gave the password and so on to the people. They were told that their bank had been compromised. Wow. So they gave their bank details to the person, and instantly they lost. I think it was about $30,000 in your
goodness.
Time. So, and they've never been able to recover it. So I didn't talk about internet scams here and what to do with links and phishing. It was more to do with the, purchasing, us actually going out and purchasing from that perspective. But yes, you're absolutely right, Mildred. And Dr. J, we're moving on to phishing and kind of attacks here.
That's wonderful. Great job, Ben, as always. We're going to take a commercial break. I did this on the last show. It's kind of a cool thing. I'm going to play a video file of award-winning songwriter, singer. His name is Tony Moore. He's out of the UK. And on July the 2nd, he is launching his remake of the famous song Route 66. So here's to you, Tony. Let's take a look, and then we'll be right back. Tony Moore.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. That video was Tony Moore, who was awarded the much coveted gold badge for services to music in the UK. He's an artist with a long and eclectic career in the entertainment world. He started his career playing in an early lineup of Iron Maiden before leaving to work with many bands, including joining Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms, as a keyboard player in the 80s. And that was his version of the infamous song Route 66. So thanks for taking a listen. All right, Ben, we cannot hear you.
I said thank you. I'm going to get my kicks on Route 66 now. I used to get my kicks on Route 55, but now I'm going to go for kicks after hearing that song, right?
By the way, did you guys see the little dog? Did you see the little dog?
I was paying attention to was the dog. He didn't look like he wanted to be there, or she.
The dog. I love the little dog. Okay, Mildred, you're up. Or how do you feel now that you're going to heal us from all the trauma that we've had?
I feel great. And I'm going to use myself as an example as I go through this presentation.
All right, wonderful. Ben and I will be backstage cheering you on. And I'm going to get you the timer, so just wait 1 minute and I'll take us backstage. Okay, here we go.
Okay. And thank you for having me with your show today. I'm going to speak about healing from trauma. So we all know that trauma comes in different ways through it, be it the experiences that Dr. Ben told us about in trying to recover money that we lost through scams. Trauma could be experiences that we had through sexual assault, car accidents, disasters of every kind. Trauma is trauma. Trauma is trauma. And it hurts us emotionally, it hurts us physically, and we have to learn how to heal from all of that. The mind has the capacity to recover and grow, but it needs the tools in order to do that. Those painful emotions must be thoroughly processed. How do you process emotions, especially when you don't want to feel? Well, that's what you have to do. You have to feel. You have to feel those emotions. You have to go through them in order to get through them. So we don't go around, we don't go over, we don't go under, we go through the pain in order to get to the other side of it. If you are not dealing with it directly, they will replay in your mind like a tape recorder set on replay. All of the negative thoughts come into your mind. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. If I would have thought about it, if I would have done this and done that, you know what? Can't change it. So what we have to do is we have to find a way to accept what we've done, what has occurred with us, and move forward. And time in will create a condition. Too much time in trauma creates PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You're always thinking about it. Your adrenaline is always flowing. You're always trying to figure out what happened and why it happened. And, you have to just stop. Just stop. Because you are the same person that you were before this traumatic experience occurred. You just have some more experience in order to move forward in your life. So there are 4 stages of trauma that we're going to talk about here. And I'm going to use myself, as I said, as an example so that you can understand the process that I went through. Everybody's process is different. You have to find what's best for you. One of the processes that I used was journaling. Journaling helped me to tap into those emotions that I was afraid to share with other people for fear of judgment, because people judge you when you're down. They talk about you real bad. They gossip about you. They comment on your Facebook page and make you feel like nothing. And that's okay, because everybody is entitled to their opinion. It doesn't mean you have to internalize what other people say or how they feel about you. The way that you feel about yourself is more important than what other people feel about you. The words that you use to describe yourself is more important than the words that other people use to describe you. Don't internalize any negative thoughts that come in your head. They're there to help you to determine, am I going to go in the negative or am I going to go in the positive? You always have a decision. Whatever those emotions come up, whatever those thoughts are, you have 2 choices. I can go towards the negative or I can go towards the positive. When you go towards the positive, you start to release those good feeling endorphins in your mind, which help you to continue to accelerate into a more positive outlook in your life. Stage 1 is called circuit breaking. Our nervous system resembles an electrical system, right? Emotions can make us feel numb, confused, sometimes suicidal. Spirituality, some people question God at that time. And that's okay, because we all have to find our way. And in finding our way, we make sure that the way that we choose is best, again, for us. It's not best for anybody else. Try not to do things that are better for other people. Try to do things that are better for you, because that's what's most important. Never make a life-changing decision in pain. You can't change it. You're going to regret it later. Whatever it is that you're going through and you got to make a decision on it, especially them scams that's coming and you're in a lot of pain and you're trying to make some money, you're trying to do everything you can in your power to make it happen, stop. Take a breath. You got all day. I used to tell my children when they wanted something, I say, look, we have 24 hours in this day. You're asking me in the morning. I don't know what will happen in the afternoon. So let's see how the day progresses. And if at that time it will happen, then it will. And if it doesn't, then we just have to wait until another time. Don't allow anybody to rush you to make a decision you are not ready to make. I think it's the quote that says, if you've been divorced, you're not supposed to make a life-changing decision for 5 years. So let's take the divorce out and put trauma there. If you're in a traumatic situation, like I was, for example, I was a victim of domestic violence. My ex-husband was John Allen Muhammad, whom you know to be the DC sniper. I had to make quick decisions, quick. But what I did was I stopped. I quieted the voices of other people. So the things that I'm telling you or suggesting that you do, I've done them myself. I had to quiet the voices of other people because they were not in my shoes and they could not tell me what to do when their life was a mess. Just like Dr. Ben said, if someone is trying to say they'll give you 1 million followers, check their account and see if they have 1 million followers. Same thing. Somebody trying to tell you about your life, check their life out and see if they're successful. If they're not successful, then how can they tell you? Don't give people medicine you're not willing to take. That's basically what that is saying. So when you recover, the recovery begins when you start to acknowledge your pain and say, you know, I am hurt. I'm in pain and I need to heal. Sometimes going to a therapist or a life coach or just talk therapy with someone you trust, not someone that's going to take your information and throw it back in your face when you make them angry. Those are not the people to talk to because you're trying to heal. You have a traumatic experience you're trying to get through. Everybody is not going to understand that, so you don't need to tell everybody. I didn't tell anybody. I journaled everything. There was no one I could talk to. Even when I tried, and I tried to talk to other people about my situation, what I was feeling. You know what they did? They turned that little thing around and told me it was my fault. How about that? I'm a victim of domestic violence and it's my fault. So stop asking the victim, why do you stay? Start asking the victim, start asking the abuser, why do you abuse? So we have to get to stage 2, which is return of feelings, because your emotions, the feelings that you have, they will return. You're going to start to wake up. You're going to start to feel healed. You're going to start to have that sense of this big cloud is moving from above your head. Everything, the sun is shining. That song, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. You're still going to have those roller coaster emotions, but they're going to be more in control. You're going to have a better understanding of them. You're going to know how to move through them. Those emotions are going to come in like tsunamis. Sometimes it'll be just a brief little flow and they come back. You're always in control. And when you feel you're not, stop. Take a breath and sit quietly. It's okay to do that. That's called grounding. Because sometimes we have to ground ourselves to understand what's really going on with us. And then we get to stage 3, which is stage 3, as I said, stage 3, which is constructive action. So what is that? Constructive action is demonstrating that you're in control of your life. We all want to be in control of our life, especially 6 months out of a pandemic. Everybody wants to be in control of what they do and how they do it. There are many people that are afraid to return to work because of the pandemic. We're just 6 months out. Companies are trying to decide when they're going to bring people in. That's a traumatic experience for some people, just trying to determine whether they want to go back into an office or not. if they want to open their business to people or not, if they want to go outside and eat. That's trauma. We just come out of a pandemic. 600,000 plus people died in the United States alone. This is not something that just goes away because everybody is taking a shot or we doing the hand sanitizer and the face mask. We still are traumatized from last year. We need time to accept that we're now in a transition of reopening, not just the world, but ourselves. We have to open up ourselves to other people, our emotions to other people. Knowing that I can now hug my family members, that relieves some trauma I was feeling because I was not able to see them for a whole year. Yeah, I can talk to you. I can FaceTime you. It's not the same as a physical touch. We all need a physical touch from time to time. And all of that has been traumatic, from children all the way to the elderly. Nobody was missed in this situation. So we also have to think about how we're going to move into society and how we're going to move outside of our pain. You can start a blog. You can write a book about what happened to you in 2020. You can write a book about how you came out of it, because what you went through, someone else went through it too. And what you have to say will help other people, just like Dr. Ben and I and Dr. Jacqueline and I are doing. We have experiences that we feel will help other people to become better versions of themselves. That's why we're here, to help you to create a better version of yourself. Trauma is trauma. There's no level. It's trauma. So allow your pain to be used as fuel to propel you forward. Some people feel pain and they stop. No, that's just not a way to move forward when you're trying to get better in this area, right? So I feel pain. What can I do to help to relieve this pain? Some people talk about their experience. Some people are mentors. Some are volunteers. Some people feel they have to do something. Whatever it is you feel you need to do, go running, go lift weights, start a support group, mentor someone. There's always something you can do. Always. I don't want you to feel like, oh, because I'm in all this pain, I can't help anybody. You can. Sometimes helping other people helps you to heal. The fourth stage of trauma, recovering from trauma, is reintegration. As I was just talking about, going back into society, having to reconnect with family, with the world. First, reconnect with yourself. Because if you're not truthful to yourself, how can you be truthful to anyone else? If you're not healed, how can you heal someone else? You have to start with you. I think scripture says you have to clean up your own backyard before you can clean up anybody else's. You're your backyard. Your heart, the pain you're feeling, that's your backyard. You have to clear that up. I use journaling again because I can write in my journal, or I have written in my journal, and I still journal. I write in my journal the emotions that I feel that I need to get to the root of. So think of your pain as an onion, right? Here's the onion. The core is the pain. We have to peel back those layers to handle all of the pain that's inside that layer. Once that's done, you peel back the next layer until you get to the core. Once you get to the core, you can dig it up, be done with it, and move on. You will never cry for that again. So I thank you for taking the time to listen to Healing from Trauma. And if you need me, I'm here, Mildred at myfocusllc.com. Thank you.
Excellent presentation on a very difficult topic, especially when it's a personal share like that. So thank you so much. Ben, can we hear you? Are you on?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Again, great presentation, Mildred. Really spot on. And I love the way that you've said that everyone has their own way of dealing with their trauma. For you and many others, journaling was one way that they did it, but you also mentioned some other ways, like if your way is just going and working it out in the gym, then great. As long as you're getting that anger and that kind of probably some certain amount of unforgiveness and so on, as long as you can find a way to get that out of yourself, go and scream at a tree. I mean, poor tree probably hasn't done anything to you, but if that's the way for you, whatever it takes, because all of that anger and unforgiveness and all those emotions are actually very cancerous to our body. So really loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they end up in a case like mine resulting in health issues. And I suggest, in addition to what you both said, working with a coach, because I know that's what I did. I work with Mildred, and it really makes a big difference. So the one thing I wanted to say also to your point about people still feeling uncomfortable, I know for me, I have been a gym rat for most of my life. I love going to the gym. I have not gone back into the gym. I've not gone back to yoga. These were two things that were a huge part of my life because I'm just still afraid. And I'm giving myself some grace that, it's a process that we have to go through.
It's a process. And everybody's process is different. And you can't tell other people what to do. They have to find their own way.
As long as it's not hurting other people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Definitely, for sure.
Like scamming people. That's why I tried to include you in my presentation.
Well, I mean, the reason I mentioned that, you know that we know, for example, I'm big into charities and stuff that are anti-bullying, but we know from studies that some of the people who bully have been themselves being bullied. Right. And so if you're bullied, that doesn't mean you should go and hurt other people.
Correct.
Yeah, just find another way to deal with that horrible thing that's happening to you.
Correct.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's been another brilliant show. Thank you both for being here and bringing such great content, delivering in such a professional manner. And that's why you're on the team. Yay!
Yay!
Mildred, I think we're going to see you on Friday. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow. Yes, and ma'am. Ben, I think we'll see you next week. Are you scheduled?
For better you know. No, I really need to start hitting that button.
Yes, hit the button. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday on the Underdog Show.
I'm with you on that one.
I think it's all the things I'm doing, with not just Dr. J, but Deborah Wooten and a number of films I'm trying to help with their funding and their all that kind of stuff, plus my own trying to get myself back on stages as an actor rather than just a stage speaker. So just, lots of stuff. And then the dance crew are hopefully opening up soon, and then we've got all these rehearsals to go to. So just tons of stuff that stops me from hitting that button to do 4 more sessions.
Well, in your own time, when you can.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We're not going anywhere, so. All right, I'll let you both go. Thank you again for being here. Really appreciate it, and I wish you a blessed day.
You too.
Bye.
You
too. Thanks, Dr. J. Thanks, Mildred.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone. I hope you took away a lot from those presentations, and I hope you share them with other people, because you never know what people are going through, and you never know what's going to resonate with somebody. Sometimes it's the timing, sometimes it's the messaging, it's the delivery, but do share. And if you want to know how to do that, all you have to do, it's simple. I'll give you 3 ways. You can go over to YouTube, go to the search engine, type in Dr. Dr. Jacqueline, Jacalyn LLC, subscribe, and you can copy the link and send it to your friends, ask them to subscribe. You can also go to Facebook to Dr. Jacqueline's interviews, and you can like or follow. And the third way is you can go over to LinkedIn and you can find me, Jacqueline Kerbeck, and you can follow me there. And this way you can see all of our shows. We have so many ways that people can watch, but it's easier if I just give you 3 straightforward ways. Coming up is It's All About Dating. And my co-host, Lori Mendelson, and our guest, Andrew Bayroff, joining us from New York. He's a great guest. We had him on another show. He's also a stand-up comic, so we'll look forward to that. And then we've got coming up right after that, another A Better You with expert presenter Stephen Gillen. So I look forward to those shows and having you with us. Thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for joining us. Bye.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.